Call the honourable member for Barker.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, my question is to the Minister for the Environment. I refer the Minister to this correspondence from United Dairy Products, who operate 2 dairy processing facilities in my electorate. Given that United Dairy Products have calculated that the carbon tax has cost their business more than $800,000 to date, why must the carbon tax be repealed, and who is standing in its way?
I call the honourable Minister for the Environment.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker, and I want to thank the member for Barker. He is somebody who knows more than a little bit about fairness to farmers and rural and regional families. He knows that because he grew up on the land. He knows that as the son of a farming family, and he knows that because he actually represents a rural area with people who pay the carbon tax daily. And in particular, he raises the issue of United Dairy. Well, United Dairy has a carbon tax bill to date of approximately $800,000. It has 2 plants within his electorate at Murray Bridge and Jervis. It has 100 employees, but it's not the only dairy that pays the bill. If you go to Murray Goulburn, a direct carbon tax bill of $2.5 million plus electricity and gas. If you go to Fonterra, a direct electricity bill of $1.3 million plus electricity and gas. If you go to Chachura Milk, a direct carbon tax bill of $666,000 plus electricity and gas. So what this carbon tax is today, right now, is a continuing tax on milk and a continuing tax on dairy farmers who, according to the Australian Dairy Industry Council, will pay between $1,000 and $3,000 per farm per year. So dairy farmers who already do it tough are being hit with a carbon tax, not just on their production, not just on their family incomes, but also on the milk which they produce. So that's what the opposition is giving us. But who's standing in the way of repealing the carbon tax? Well, only 2 days ago we heard the wonderful news, and I do want to go back to the statement from the member for Port Adelaide on Australian Agenda. We do support the abolition of the carbon tax. And what a moment! What a moment! They were going to vote for the abolition of the carbon tax, one would imagine from that statement. Well, next week you have the opportunity to make good on that statement, the abolition of the carbon tax. Those bills are back before this House. But there was something else that the member for Port Adelaide said in that interview. When asked about if the carbon tax is repealed, he said, well, we'll obviously, as an opposition, have to take stock and over the next year or 2 build an alternative policy. So what he was saying is they'll build an alternative policy. But this morning, a little email fell into my hands sent to the Labor Party members from the member for Port Adelaide saying, actually, we've been arguing for an emissions trading scheme in the parliament ever since the election. He says one thing to the Australian people on Sunday, another thing quietly this morning. They are completely confused. If they want to do something, get out of the way and let us.
The minister's time has elapsed.